Hello everyone, it's me Satya coming to you from the Goddess Touch Wellness Center, and I thank you for being here for the second video blog. And it's just going to be awesome. We're going to keep on going with this. I did skip last Wednesday, but I plan on doing this every Wednesday now for the Goddess Touch Wednesdays. So hope you tune in for more. My head is overflowing, so I'm really excited to get all this out, and I hope you can pick up some fun inspiration along the way. Tonight, I thought we could talk about sensitivity and basically, and how sensitivity can help us heal. Heal through past hurts or current hurts, and just heal us. So first, that I'd ask, what things come to your mind when I say the word sensitivity? What's your personal definition of that word? Do you think of someone emotional? Do you think of someone maybe overly emotional? Do you think of someone vulnerable? Do you think of someone capable of feeling their feelings or the feelings of others? Do you think of someone weak or someone female? What are the things that come to your mind when you think of sensitivity? And just let those sit with you as we go through. And perhaps by the end, you'll want to expand your definition. You'll have learned a little more on the topic. So I'll start with my definition of sensitivity to kind of clarify, give a little baseline as to where we're all at on this. My definition is feeling into more subtle cues around us. So these can be emotional. We can be listening to our own emotions. We can feel the emotions of others without them even necessarily saying they're feeling a certain way. We just read their body language, read their eyes, and we just know what they're feeling. Sensitivity is listening into your body, feeling what it's telling you when you're hungry, when you're thirsty, when you're tired, and actually listening. I think part of sensitivity is when you get the message, then do you listen to the message? How do you respond to it? And how do you encourage it to keep showing up? Have you ever noticed if you ignore hunger or you ignore thirst, it doesn't show up as clearly in the future. If you ignore dreams, for instance, they stop becoming so vivid. People that do dream work know this really well. They know that to honor their dreams, they want to keep getting vivid, maybe intuitive dreams coming through, answering certain questions. Some of the most brilliant scientists and creators, inventors of our time use their dreams to shed light on questions that they had. Came up with some of the best inventions that we've seen through dreams. But they had a relationship with their dreams and they honored what they were telling them, so then more came. So I feel that with a lot of areas of sensitivity, that the more we honor these subtle cues, the more we receive of them, the more they kind of lead us down a certain path, our path, really. And so that's going to get me to the fact that sensitivity and our spiritual path, because I am here to talk about spiritual things, that's kind of where I live and breathe, so I can't separate that from anything I do, really. And so hopefully you're open to that. Otherwise, just know that that's going to come along pretty much in all of my blogs. But yeah, to be on your spiritual path kind of means that you're going to the beat of your own drum. So that means you got to hear the beat of your own drum, right? It means that you develop a certain inner hearing, and that to me is sensitivity. It's feeling where to go next, and what people around you feel like the people you're drawn to, that you're meant to meet next, and you're meant to have a collaboration with, or you're meant to learn something from them. Sensitivity helps us get there, helps us walk with purpose and make purposeful friendships, purposeful connections with others, and to know we're going to learn our lessons anyway in life, right? We're going to, as we go, we're learning constantly. It's the school of life. But it's really interesting how when you cultivate more sensitivity, you actually know when you're learning things, which I think is really great. If we can actually be aware as we're getting these lessons, maybe, we won't have to repeat them so often. So it's like, okay, I'm being drawn to this person right now. And, oh, okay, I can see why I was drawn there. Yeah, okay, I'm learning this lesson right now. All right, and I'm going to stay here because I still need to learn it. So, just imagine that way of looking at life rather than, just running into this person and you don't know why you're with them, but, you're there, and suddenly they start being, mean to you in some way, and you want to leave, but you can't. Something's calling you back, and you don't know why, and you're just in this cycle, and it feels destructive, but then you can't leave, and you have no idea what you're doing there, and you go through this roller coaster with them. You come out, and you will have learned a lot, but did you use your sensitivity to know what you were learning? Did you use your sensitivity to lessen the roller coaster ride? Because really, I think what's really always happening is that life wants to teach us beautiful lessons. Our higher powers want to teach us how to become a beautiful, refined soul through experience. So I think that's why we're in bodies, and that's why we're on this earth, because certain things need to be experienced in order to be absorbed by the soul and remembered for lifetimes. So we can't, go the shortcut way. We can't, cheat our way out of learning soul lessons. So we're going to, and we might as well embrace it. But so to me, sensitivity is beautiful because as you develop it, you're going through these lessons, they're going to continue, but you can actually start to key in on what they're teaching you. Like I said, you can actually start to key in on where you are in your path, and where you need to go next. And action, you begin to find, I've found throughout my path that the more I listen to these kind of, I don't want to say voices, I don't hear voices, I know other people do, but I don't hear voices, I hear just like urges, and I hear emotional messages from myself and from others, like I can feel what they're feeling. But as I go and I can feel into the lessons being presented, it's almost like the outer lessons get lighter, because they don't need to be screaming so loud for me to hear them. So that's one beautiful thing about being sensitive, is that you start to see less drama in your life. You start to see that, the higher power, your guides, your higher self, don't have to be screaming so loud to get your attention anymore, because you're paying attention all the time, and they're really happy about that. They're like, oh, awesome, we can just give her the lighter version. We can give her the 101 version of the class, and she's already excelled to the next level, rather than giving her 101, 101, 101, 101 again and again and again until she finally realizes that she's in a 101 class and needs to graduate. So that's what happens to a lot of us. We just keep getting the same lessons over and over and over, meeting the same people that are teaching us the same lessons until it's drilled in and we finally get it. And then we can move on to, say, the next person that's going to teach us from the next level. A lot of our relationships are kind of that in our lives, are teaching us something. Most of them are teaching us something. But how much can we take from that? How much are we really taking out of it on a conscious level? And how much are we just being taught on a subconscious level by accident? Because like I said, either way, we're learning. So my thought is that why don't we make it conscious? So I think sensitivity relates to consciousness, and it relates to our spiritual path. It relates to following the clues along the way, step by step. It's like, okay, I took that step, and now I don't know where I'm going next. As a lot of the great leaders have said, they've had to just put one foot in front of the other to get to where they are, to achieve great things. A lot of them have admitted to saying they didn't know where they were going. They had fear too and insecurities, and they didn't feel like experts in their fields, but they just had a calling, and so they went towards that calling, and then they had another calling, and they went towards that calling. And it's like spirit was guiding them, or something was guiding them through each step. Nothing ever left them abandoned at one of the steps when they had their ears and eyes open, is what I'm saying too, is sensitivity is trust. It's definitely trust, because often when we block sensitivity, it's because we don't think that something's going to lead us to that next step, and we're going to be stranded there, without control. So sensitivity is the opposite of control. It's we all want to have a certain amount of certainty and structure in our life, and we can set that up for security. But there's also a level that we need to learn of surrender, and of just meeting the moment where it is and saying, I don't know. I don't know what's next, but I have a feeling something's going to guide me. I'm here, and I know I'm not expected to know all the answers, otherwise I would. So, but I'm getting these little urges and these callings, so I think I'm gonna follow them, because I think I have them for a reason, and I think they might just lead to the next breadcrumb, the next clue. The next thing you know, you look and you see that you've accomplished these great things, and you've touched people in your life, and you made it to the top, whatever the top is for you, without making a thing of it, without making it a place you have to be or something to become. You've just been in the moment the entire time. And if something was accomplished, it's because something great was accomplished. It's because you were in the moment and you were following and you trusted. Rather than necessarily designing and planning out every detail of your life, and deciding what the top looks like exactly. When you're climbing a mountain, it's a great analogy, because you're climbing the mountain, you don't even know what the next steps are. If it's a new mountain, and most of us like to climb new mountains that we've never seen before. We know we're going to get to the peak somehow, and people may have told us it's beautiful, but we've never seen it for ourselves. So we don't have a picture of what we're stepping into. But that's part of the fun. And so as we're climbing, we're totally in the moment, and we're like, wow, with our eyes wide open. Look at that beautiful tree. Look at that. Those beautiful flowers are so exotic. Wow, the weather's just beautiful today. Oh, wow, look at that blue jay, when you're in that state of awe and wow, that's like beginner's mind. That's like, I've never done this before. Wow. And you're just you can be in this place of like ecstasy and awe when you're allowing yourself to not know what's coming next. So as scary as it can be, that's also where we get our excitement, where we get our awe and sense of beauty in the world, is from this newness. So if we can carry through our lives like that more often, we would walk around more in a state of awe, in a state of, wow, looking around like, oh, look at these new colors and look at these people that I'm surrounded with. And wow, I never realized I was so blessed. And gratitude, that comes in too. So I'm connecting all these things to the word sensitivity that maybe we've never connected before. So if we're able to be in the moment and we're sensitive to the little cues, the little things around us, the smells and the flowers and the smiles, being touched by, a really nice cashier as we're going through the grocery store line, like I was this morning. It can make our morning if our eyes are open to that. Otherwise, we're just ringing our groceries through, and we're meeting another cashier, just any other cashier. But if your eyes are open and you're like, oh my God, this guy is so happy and he's being so kind and lovely to these customers and to me, and I just appreciate that, because maybe he may not love his job, but he's like giving all that he has, and he may love his job too. What do I know? But he's giving all that he has to each person that comes through his line, and he's sharing his light with us. Wow, that's awesome. He's choosing not to close his heart. That's beautiful. So you can be touched by so many, that I just smelled something, so many things, sorry, that often we're blind to when we're not sensitive. So you see, sensitivity can be really beautiful, and it can just deepen life. It can bring more intensity and more meaning and make it worth living, make it a beautiful thing. Why would you want to walk through life numb? When you close your heart due to hurts, often because the heart was open and then we felt a stab, we felt someone not being sensitive to us. You see, sensitivity works on the other side too. When someone's not sensitive to us, it gives us the inclination sometimes to close, just go back in, and to stop giving this beautiful flower, this beautiful radiant energy we have to offer. So it's a temptation through life to do that, to close back in. But when we do that, we're like in here all the time, and we're like, you start to become numb, closed off. There's a reason we say these words, closed off, unavailable, all those things. And just no fun, really. An open heart is fun, and it's lively, and it's giving, and it's in relationship. Everywhere you go, you're in relationship when you have an open heart. You're exchanging energy, exchanging the best that you have, and you're receiving the best that others have. All those things to me are the spice of life, and they're the reason, at least they're the reason for happiness. We can live in suffering, absolutely. And there might be some lessons there for us, and that might be beautiful if we choose it. But I choose to experience more happiness in this life. I choose to experience more meaning and joy in the simple things. And sensitivity alone can do that for you. Gratitude, to me, is sensitivity, because it's noticing the little things. And going back to closing your heart, I know this, like I said, can totally be a temptation for a lot of us. A lot of times when we walk out and we're totally wide open, something harsh happens immediately, and it's really painful when your heart was open. It's almost like extra painful, because you're like, hi, I'm here, hello, welcome. And then it's like, whoa, like it's unfathomable sometimes how people can treat you badly when have your heart on a platter for them, and you're just willing to give them, all the love you have. I've experienced that throughout, most of my life, and it's been hard. Every time it's hard. Never gets easier, really, I don't think, except just knowing that it's going to happen, and knowing that others haven't learned about sensitivity and haven't learned the beauty of having their hearts open. And I just have to be patient. But yeah, it still hurts like crazy, I've had total relationship with this throughout my life. As a kid, I was always sensitive. Um, I sometimes, cried easily. Uh, when I saw people getting hurt around me, when people would tease me, I had a cousin who teased me all the time, and it would really hurt my feelings. And so, I would respond. Um, and I think feeling those feelings is really important. That's another part of sensitivity. Is this could actually be two parts. So I think I'm going to make this two parts. But feeling those feelings that you're experiencing, like when you're open-hearted and then someone goes, poof, and then you feel hurt or broken in some way. I think it's so important we have those two options of, oh, take a moment and, oof, feel it, cry it, whatever, just like a baby. When a baby gets hurt, it cries instantly. And then 5 minutes later, 5 seconds later, it can be smiling again because it just let it go. It's like so in its body that it doesn't shut down anything. And it's always sensitive. It's like constantly sensitive, which, some people are exhausted by, but it comes right back to health. It bounces right back to joy because it let that go. It didn't hold on to anything. So I think we can learn from that. You may not be able to cry on the dime when you're feeling sad, but working on getting in touch with those feelings and letting them come through in a healthy way with healthy supports around you is really good because it clears out your channel to come, just removes those blocks. Whereas a lot of us don't let them out. We're in denial of them, so then they stay in the body. Nothing ever disappears in life. Remember that. Nothing disappears. Even if you think you're not feeling something, or you have an emotion and then you decide not to feel it or whatever, you decide not to tell a person about it that needs to be told or whatever, that doesn't just disappear because you decided not to process it in your body, or you decided not to cry it out or to feel it through. Really just what happens is it's energy and it goes into the body often and gets stuck, unless you do something with it. You can play with it, you can adjust it with your thoughts, but at least there you're looking at it. You're not in denial of it. So sensitivity is also just not being in denial of what's real. Often people think of, getting emotional as something unreal, not logical, which is just total crap to me, because how can it not be real if you're feeling it? Of course it's real, and it's worthy of being felt. It's part of your journey. So I think feel everything that comes up, like indulge yourself and to go through the process of, acknowledging what's real to your heart. And you'll learn lessons from there. So emotions may not be logical all the time, linear, but we're always learning from them. So, with proper perspective, you can go into them without being afraid. And that proper perspective is basically to know that, okay, that your emotions are valuable, but that you are not them. So that will help you to go through them and to feel them, experience them. If you're feeling pain about something, someone just hurt you, go through and feel that pain, but to know that I'm feeling pain right now, but I'm more vast than this. So I'm not this particular emotion. This is not who I am. Like if someone makes fun of you and you feel hurt by it, to know I'm feeling hurt by this right now, and maybe I'm questioning whether what that person said is true about me. But on the other end, you can know that you're none of these emotions really, and you're none of the names they're calling you. You're much vaster. You're infinite, open space, eternal, soul, just light, as we mentioned in the last blog. So just keeping on coming back to that allows you the freedom and the space to then go into your emotions knowing that you're not going to be lost there forever. You can go into your sadness and know As long as you keep that perspective that there's something greater, that you're more vast than it, then you won't drown in that sadness. You'll simply be honoring it for what it is, and you can take the messages out of it that you need to learn. So, I ended up talking a little longer than I thought tonight. I know this is 25 minutes worth of video. You might have hung in until now, and I appreciate if you did. It's fine if not. But I thank you so much for tuning in tonight and listening to what I have to say, I think, on this very important topic of sensitivity. And I think I'll do a part 2. I don't know, I might have covered it tonight. But hopefully you gained some awesome new perspective, and you know it's okay to go into your feelings now, and you know that it's okay to go deeply into the feelings, and to know that you're more vast than they are, and that you don't have to identify with them, and that you're not going to get lost there. There is another side of the tunnel. There's the light at the end of the tunnel. So just remember that, and don't be afraid. And don't be afraid to put one foot in front of the other, and trust as you just keep walking on your beautiful journey into new territory, new explorations, and enjoy the ride. So thank you so much for joining me here at the Goddess Touch Wellness Center, and I'll see you next time.